afternoon. This is Gary from Oz Engineering. Today we're going to put in the clutch and the hydraulic throw-up bearing on the Mazda Miata with the Honda engine. The first thing we're going to do is the flywheel is already on the engine, and we're going to put the pressure plate on. Put the disc on, put the pressure plate on. We use the alignment tool for the clutch. There's dowel pins on the pressure plate to line them up. Make sure you line up the dowel pins. There's little dowel pins on the pressure plate. Line them up. The important part of this job is not putting the pressure plate on, but measuring the distance that we have between the throw-up bearing and the fingers on the clutch. That's the critical part of it. I'm putting this on with the impact gun, but you'll be putting it on with a torque wrench. Get the torque correct. But I'm just doing this to demonstrate the clearances that we'll need. Okay, once we have the clutch down, the next thing we have to do is measure the fingers. The first thing we do is run a straight edge across the top of the pressure plate. Come on this side, Donald. And then we're going to get a measurement from the top of the pressure plate to the face of the adapter. Now you're going to do this in several spots. You want to be sure that the distance is the same. 3 inches was the measurement we had from the top of the pressure plate to the adapter plate. The next measurement we need is the measurement of how far the fingers go down. And the fingers go down 3/8 of an inch, less than the top of the pressure plate. So we're going to use that measurement to determine how far down we have to go for the throw-up bearing, for the hydraulic throw-up bearing. So this is 3/8 of an inch, less than 3 inches, so that's 2 5/8. Plus we'll need clearance. We'll need clearance for the hydraulic throw-up bearing. The next thing we got to do is this is just a front half of a transmission, and what we have here the throwout sleeve on the original Miata was too small of a diameter for the hydraulic throwout bearing. So we provide a sleeve that slips over the original throwout bearing sleeve on the transmission. That's so it fits the hydraulic throwout bearing. It slips right in there. And this is a slight press fit that goes on there. The hydraulic throwout bearing is going to go over this, and we have to determine the height on the throwout bearing. What we're going to do is put there's a stud on here that we provide. That's to hold the throwout bearing from spinning. We give you a dimension on where to drill the holes for the lines for the hydraulic throwout bearing. The shims that go underneath the throwout bearing to provide the exact distance we need. The hydraulic throwout bearing, you'll see in the assembly manual what you'll need and where to get it. Get it from Speedway Motors. And you put this on the front of the transmission, slide it all the way back. As you can see, when you're looking face down on the transmission, this is straight up in the air for bleeding, so you get all the air out of it. Now we're going to determine the height and for the throwout bearing. Now the dimension we had was 2 5/8 plus, let me see my notes here, 2 5/8 plus an 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch clearance for the wear on the disc. So we'll need 2 3/4. Okay, so we just have just about 2 3/16. So we're just right on the money. 2 5/8. That's it. So you need that much clearance. You need about 125 to 200 thousandths clearance, so that allow for wear on the disc, because then on the wear on the disc, the fingers will rise up. If you make it too close to the fingers on the clutch to begin with, as the clutch wears, your clutch is going to start slipping. So you don't want that to happen. So allow enough clearance, maybe 125 to 200 thousandths clearance on the hydraulic throwout bearing, and then you're all set. And then we'll go over and bleeding is we'll go over a bleeding procedure when we get to the next video. And that's it. We're set here. Now you have the clutch all set up. You got the adapter plate on, the clutch, pressure plate, hydraulic throwout bearing. All the torque specs are in the manual for your clutch plate. Everything's going to be in the manual, and we'll provide, like I said, this sleeve that goes on there and also the stop to stop it from rotating. And then the adjustment sleeve, adjustment shims that are underneath there, is a package of them that you can adjust the height and what you need. And that's it for this video. We'll see what our next video is going to be, and then we'll update you as soon as it's ready. Thank you.